Being diagnosed with a mental illness can be really heartbreaking, especially if you're only 18 years old like I was. I was, really looking forward to my life. I knew I needed help. I knew my life was out of control. And once I accepted the fact that I had this illness and I was going to live with it the best I possibly could, on a daily basis, step by step, that's when everything started to get better. But in the meantime, I went through some really, really tough times. I became homeless in Denver, and I had such a low self-esteem and such a negative thought about the fact that I was mentally ill and I belonged living on the streets. I had friends that I talked to only when I was depressed and friends that I talked to only when I was manic. So in other words, these people knew me as two different people, basically, because the chemical imbalance in the brain changes you from the high person to the very, very low depths of despair. There was a time when I used to sit for hours just planning my funeral. It was the only thing that made me feel better with the depression, was planning my funeral. And I'll be honest with you, I planned my funeral so many times and in such a depth of despair and darkness that I honestly feel like I died. They say, okay, so you have bipolar disorder? And I say, yes. I've been in a straitjacket. I've been tied down with leather straps. Sitting at church one day, I realized that if God made my brain and He never makes mistakes, then there's got to be a reason why I'm suffering with all these years. And so that was basically my turnaround. I said, you know what? If I'm going to be mentally ill, I'm going to be the best mentally ill person I can possibly be. And with that, don't you know, I got a job at Help Hotline Crisis Center as the program coordinator for recovery services 14 years ago. Because of this illness, I have had an ability to help so many other people through my classes, through my book, through telling people, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. What's Behind the Smile was the most appropriate name for my book because I'm a person that continually smiles. What is behind the smile is my journey with bipolar disorder. Mental illness can hit anybody. It's not something that is just for a certain class or a certain kind of people.